Hi guys, welcome. Today we're going to review this Tanglewood that I bought. It's quite a mouthful. It's the Tanglewood TSB C 58 LTD that I picked up recently for not much money. And I've already done some modifications, but we're going to just not concentrate on the mods and just talk about the actual guitar that I bought. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I think it's an absolutely stunning guitar for very little money. So yeah, let's dive in. So the first thing you'll notice is the beautiful top. And this is a crotch walnut top, they call it. The back is a mahogany, finished in a nice deep red, as you can see. And from what I can see, it's either a 2 or a 3 piece. Let me have a good look here. It's probably a 3 piece back. The neck is also at least 2 pieces, because there is a dovetail joint barely visible over here. Got a nice little volute to it. The tuners are, I believe they're Goto tuners, but don't hold me to that. Headstock is very nicely proportioned, and in fact for a 10-year-old guitar these tuners still look absolutely brand new. There's no tarnishing on these whatsoever. Double bound body. And I believe that the top is actually a cap. I did remove the pickups. I've actually changed the pickups. Not because they were bad, but because I just wanted a little bit more drive out of them. I believe it has stainless steel frets. And the reason I say that is because this guitar is from 2010. It's definitely been played because the scratch plate is pretty scratched. I've buffed it in the meantime. But the frets are absolutely mint. There is not a single mark, dent or anything on them. I try to polish them, but usually when you run your buffing wheel along the frets, the pad will go black. But this was not the case on these frets. It just, nothing happened. They just cleaned up actually. They didn't polish. So I'm saying that these are, if they're not stainless steel frets, well then there's definitely something else, because they're also slightly brighter in color than what I'm used to. If I compare them to my other Les Pauls there, which I refretted myself with nickel frets, and they definitely tarnish very quickly. Within a week already they're dull. And for 10 years old, these frets are still shiny. They look like brand new. The fret ends are also very nicely rounded off. I'll cut to the close-up. One thing I did notice on this guitar actually is that the fretboard is slightly wider than my other guitars, the other Les Pauls that I have. And that's very nice, because then your fingers don't tend to fall off the fret when you're bending, you know. I have a problem with those guitars that the top string especially, I tend to fall off the fretboard because it's quite narrow. The string width though is exactly the same as the other Les Pauls that I have there. But yeah, look, the finish on this guitar is absolutely stunning. There's absolutely no flaws. The body is a bit narrower than a standard Les Paul by about half the width of the binding, which makes it actually even a bit lighter than those. And those are Japanese Ibanezes, which are basically plywood, and they're still heavier than this. So I really like that about this guitar. The neck shape is a C shape, but it's just a bit flatter than those. It reminds me a lot of an Ibanez kind of neck, but not quite like the Wizard neck. You know, it's not the same as a Wizard neck. It's a bit beefier, but not as beefy as those, and those are already fairly flat. So it's very comfortable to hold. And obviously the fact that the fret edges are all rounded off, it's super smooth to play. And I paid, what did I pay for this? In dollars, $250, which is actually ridiculously cheap. I had a look inside the pots, and they are unbranded full-size pots. I'll cut to a photo that I took. Also, when I changed the pickups, and they came with this guitar came with Entwistle 58 pickups, which are, I thought, 7.5 on the neck and 7.8 at the bridge, and for me that was just not quite enough. So I found these pickups, these zebras, they've got braided wire on them, and the backing plates are nickel, but they're unbranded, and they are 8.5 and 10.5. So that just gives it a bit more drive. Which is what I prefer, especially on a gig when I've got the monitor up and I just hold the chord. It won't do it now. It starts feeding back, which is I really kind of enjoyed that, because you can play with the trem nicely when it starts doing that, you know. And the stock pickups weren't doing that for me. I'm just running through my Ampero, which is what I gig with, and I'm just monitoring through my monitor, which is what I monitor with, and I'm recording straight into Studio One. So that's what you're hearing. So let me run you through the pickups quickly. This is my clean sound. And here's the middle. Here's the bridge. And I would hardly use the bridge pickup in a clean kind of tone anyway. I'd usually either use the middle or I'd use the neck pickup. For instance, if I just hit my tone that you'll recognize. You could use that in either of these Very nice. Here, for instance, would be this, which you might recognize. Beautiful, nice tone. It's pushing something. Something in the mid-range is being pushed. I don't quite know where it is, particularly in this patch, which is my sort of mild crunchy. And then I've got a slightly wilder one. Also nice for this. So yeah, very versatile guitar, very cheap. I'm saying if you can find one of these for the money, and that's my whole point, is for the money that I paid for this. I paid more for my Ibanez's, and they don't sound, and I've worked a lot on those. I've got 3 of those. I've also got a white one. I've worked a lot of those. I've worked a lot on those guitars, refretting, hardware, everything I can possibly do, and they sound great. They do sound good, But there's just something about this guitar that I don't know. It's like so slick to play. I don't know if it's the frets. Or whether it's the tone. But when I'm playing it on stage, no, it just works. I tried playing one of my other ones the other day. Played it for a set, and yeah, it works. It sounds great, but it's just not like this. It's not like this at all. The fit and finish on this is absolutely immaculate. It's made in China, Korea. The jury's out on that one. It's designed in the United Kingdom. Well, you know Tanglewood. I mean, they make great acoustic guitars, and this guitar is from 2010. It's definitely been played. I can see that because it's got a couple of marks here and there, nothing major. And I'm just so surprised at how well the hardware's stood up, especially these tuners. I mean, they literally look brand new, like as if I just fitted them. The bridge is still nice. It looks age appropriate. It's got a little bit of wear here from the hand. This obviously is new, so that's not going to, you can't judge that. Yeah, guys, if you can find one, I would definitely say go pick one up. It definitely compares very well with, let's say, a higher end Epiphone, one of those custom models, or a Paul Reed Smith SE, I would say. Definitely compares with one of those, and anything in that sort of range. Absolutely brilliant. And in my personal view, but this is just me, it's absolutely the best guitar I've ever owned, and I've owned 30 guitars. So yeah, guys, if you can find one of these, I'd say go grab one. I did change the nut for no particular reason, just because I like the look of this. So, but the standard nut that was on there was perfectly fine. I just fiddling in the workshop, and I thought, let me put something fancy on there. Does it change the tone? Not really. Maybe in open string chords. It would also help if I had new strings on, but these are 4 weeks old. Guys, very nice. I love it. I love this guitar. I can't see the reason, but that's me personally, for spending a shitload of money on a guitar that plays maybe as good as this. It looks killer. I mean, this is quite a unique look. So yeah, thumbs up for this one, guys.